Hi friends, it's me, Mr. Wilson, and I'm here with our next read aloud, which is Miss Nelson is Missing, which is by Harry Allard and James Marshall. So remember, this is another mystery book in our mystery series. And a quick little synopsis of our story before I get started. Miss Nelson has the worst behaved class in school. One morning, Miss Nelson does not come, and her substitute, the witch like Viola Swamp, puts the children in their place immediately. Only then do the students appreciate Miss Nelson and search to find her. Miss Nelson eventually returns, and though the students don't know it, she has a secret of her own. As we read through this story, I want you to see if you can figure out this secret before the end of the story. The kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. Spitballs stuck to the ceiling, paper planes whizzed through the air, and they were the worst behaved class in the whole school. "Now settle down," said Miss Nelson in a sweet voice. But the class would not settle down. They whispered and they giggled, they squirmed and made faces. They were even rude during story hour. They always refused to do their lessons. "Something will have to be done," said Miss Nelson. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think she has to do? The next morning, Miss Nelson did not come to school. "Wow," yelled the kids. "Now we can really act up." They began to make more spitballs and more paper planes. "Today, let's just be terrible," they said. "Not so fast," hissed an unpleasant voice. A woman in an ugly black dress stood before them. "I am your new teacher, Miss Viola Swamp." She rapped the desk with her ruler. "Where is Miss Nelson?" asked the kids. "Never mind that," snapped Miss Swamp. "Open those arithmetic books." Miss Nelson's kids did as they were told. They could see Miss Swamp was a real witch. She meant business. She's even pointing her finger at them. Right away, she put them to work and loaded them down with homework. "We'll have no story hour today," said Miss Swamp. "Keep your mouths shut," said Miss Swamp. "Sit perfectly still," said Miss Swamp. "And if you misbehave, you'll be sorry," said Miss Swamp. Days went by and there was no sign of Miss Nelson. The kids missed Miss Nelson. So right now I want you to go back and think about Miss Nelson and compare her to Miss Viola Swamp. What do you notice? What are the differences between Miss Swamp and Miss Nelson? If you said that Miss Nelson is nice and looks friendly, you would be right. And then Miss Swamp, she says mean things and she scares the kids and makes them do really hard work. And she even looks mean in the pictures, doesn't she? Miss Nelson looks sweet and nice. And then as we go on, we see that Miss Swamp looks mean. "Maybe we should try to find her," they said. Some of them went to the police. Detective McSmog was assigned to the case. He listened to their story. He scratched his chin. He said. "I think Miss Nelson is missing." Detective McSmog would not be much help. So how do you think the kids are feeling about Miss Nelson right now? They miss her, right? And they want her back? And they probably want her back because Miss Swamp is so mean and terrible. Other kids went to Miss Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn and no one answered the door. In fact, the only person they did see was the wicked Miss Viola Swamp coming up the street. If she sees us, she'll give us more homework. They got away just in time. Maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark, said one of the kids. But that didn't seem likely. Maybe Miss Nelson went to Mars, another kid said. But that didn't seem likely either. I know, exclaimed one of the know-it-alls. Maybe Miss Nelson was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies. But that was the least likely of all. The kids in room 207 became very discouraged. It seemed that Miss Nelson was never coming back, and they would be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. They heard footsteps in the hall. Here comes the witch, they whispered. Hello, children, someone said in a sweet voice. It was Miss Nelson. Did you miss me, she asked. We certainly did, cried all the kids. Where were you? That's my little secret, said Miss Nelson. How about a story hour? Oh, yes, cried the kids. Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour, no one was rude or silly. What brought on this lovely change, she asked. That's our little secret, said the kids. Back home, Miss Nelson took her coat off and hung it in the closet, right next to an ugly black dress. When it was time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself with a smile. And up here in the closet, there's a box that says wig. So, why do you think she was gone all those days? There's a black dress and a wig in her closet. P.S. Detective McSmog is working on a new case. He is now looking for Miss Viola Swamp. So, if we go back and take a look at this last page with Miss Swamp in her bed, what clues do we see that give away her little secret? I pointed out the wig and she talked about her black dress, but what else do you see in that picture? See what looks like maybe a black little finger, some big eyelashes. What do you think that is? Her big nose. So all of those things add up to be Miss Viola Swamp. She dressed up like Miss Viola Swamp for a few days to make her kids listen. So now that we've read our story for the week, Miss Nelson is Missing, I want you to go ahead and log on to LitPro and take the quiz over Miss Nelson is Missing. Once you've done that, you can either read another book or you can get on Word. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Remember, you can reach me on email, Facebook, or Remind, and I will see you next week. Bye.